for the first 6 months of his life. 3 months old, he was put into a chemical-induced coma because they couldn't stop him from having seizures. You couldn't hug him, you couldn't change his nappy, you couldn't... Any kind of stimulation would trigger a tonic-clonic seizure. I always tried where I could to get that physical contact in, but when it got to the point where he was too sensitive to touch because it would trigger seizures, it was awful, because if you did want to make contact with him, you almost felt guilty that it was your fault, that maybe you had then caused him to have another seizure. And as a mum, when your child's poorly, all you want to do is hold them. You don't know if that next seizure is going to be the seizure that ultimately takes his life. And that can happen at any time, any day, without any warning. And that's the worst feeling. We eventually managed to get to Great Ormond Street, and we did a genetic screening panel where they test between 40 and 50 genes, and it was from that DNA it came back that he had this rare genetic brain disorder called SCN2A. And most children with epileptic encephalopathy don't live past the age of 2. So when he was put into his first chemical-induced coma at 3 months, we were told that he had this epileptic encephalopathy, and that, you know, the chances are he probably wouldn't see his second birthday. As a mum, it's just impossible to think of. You know, it's not, you know, in my mind it was, no, it's not going to happen. We will fight this, we'll find out what's happening, because the thought of losing a child, you just can't think about it. It's unbearable, isn't it? I couldn't ever imagine my life without him. Well, we had a clinic appointment with our consultant in Bristol, and it was at that point he said, you know, I think I should refer you to the hospice. And it's at that point your world just crumbles, and I would never forget it, because I said to him, as the consultant, I said, are you telling me my son's going to die? We were invited up just for coffee and cake, for a chat, come and have a meet and greet and have a little look around. I almost felt like I was accepting the fact that that was the end. That you're taking him there to get to know people, because that's where ultimately, you know, it's all going to happen, whether it be a week or a month or... So I was very nervous. But when we arrived, they're just lovely, down-to-earth people. Really smiley, really happy. Come in, have a cup of tea, have a cake. You know, we've always got endless supply of cake there. And it was almost my fears of, oh my God, this is it. This is the end for Finley. It just disappeared. Don't know where I would be today without them. Because they understand, they know. And we've met lovely people. We've made friends with parents. You know, you've got people you can talk to. The hospice allows you to be a mum, not a carer. They deal with everything medical for you. I can be mum. I can get in the hydro pool with Finley and have a cuddle and have a swim. And I don't have to worry about checking his SATs, giving him oxygen, seizures. Someone else there to do that for you completely. So the time you get with Finley is quality time as a mum. My concern was, as if he was to literally pass quickly, how would we get him to the hospice? Because ultimately that's where we would like him to go. Ian reassured me that if that was the case, I didn't need to worry, that they would get him to the hospice even if he's already passed. And that he would be able to go into their starborn room, and they would help me work with us as a family and Kev arrange and sort Finley's funeral, and he could stay there and we could stay there as a family and enjoy that time. With Finley, but with people around us that, you know us. and can support us in a place where we feel safe.